Wilma Fingerdoo, your suet puddin', here with another fabulous collab. I'm very excited because I think this is my second collab. When I first started doing YouTube, I always thought collabs meant that you had to be on each other's channel. Like, so that you would do like a Zoom meeting or something, but you would be on the channel together and it would appear on one channel or the other. And then as I started exploring different channels and different people and why they're on YouTube and that, I came across a really interesting group of people. Now, maybe everyone does collabs this way. I don't know. But this group does collabs this way. And I'm not saying this group like they're all in a group. It's just there seems to be a group of people, creators that are doing this. And because I follow one or two of them, I've started to see others doing collabs this way, which is where they take the theme, they do it on their channel, and the other person does the same thing on their channel, and you tag each other, and there you go. And I've just been enjoying it because I don't, I usually had to do like a live and get a Zoom and record, and it was always such a trauma, and so this has to be the best way to do it. Now, this is my second one. My first one was with Erica Conger. This one is with a fabulous creator named Shani B. She is a Smiley Shani on YouTube and I think on Instagram. I think that's her handle all around. She is a fabulous Caribbean, South Central Los Angeles, I think she said, trauma therapist. Now, first of all, with a name like Smiley Shani, the last thing I thought she did was trauma anything. But I have to say, my mom was a ER nurse for years when I was growing up, and she worked with a lot of women in traumatic environments, and they used to all come back to our place for coffee after shifts or hang out or whatever, and the biggest laughers, the biggest senses of humor, and Shani is no different. Like, every once in a while, she kind of makes a reference to the fact that she is a trauma therapist, and my heart goes out to her because, I couldn't spend my whole day listening to people being, sharing their trauma or explaining how they're traumatized, because at some point it's got to get you down. But at the same time, I think helping people like that not be traumatized anymore has to be the reward for sure. But as I say, Shani is one of those smiley, happy people. She said she started her YouTube channel because being a trauma therapist, she doesn't have a lot of people to talk makeup to. And I get that. As a drag queen, I might be in a room full of stand-up comics, and none of them, even the women, are that into makeup. And so every once in a while, like I remember I was on when I hosted Knock Knock Ghost, I was on the set, and one of the crew members, she brought up a name of makeup that I knew, and I said, do you buy a lot from them? And they were like, no, somebody was just telling. And then we had this, I think it was a 45-minute conversation. We just realized, oh my God, did 45 minutes just fly out of our mouths? And so I totally understand that need to kind of talk about makeup. The other thing I'm slightly embarrassed and yet very impressed with is how much I know about makeup. I'm very, very, I used to think, I just know, stage makeup, professional makeup. But now it's like, this and that. People say brands. I'll watch Drag Race and I see a palette go by and I go, I have that. And the problem I have is I don't use all my palettes as much as I should. But we're going to correct that today because Shani and I are doing a collab. And the main reason we're doing this is we're both using this palette, Blends by Blend Bunny. This is the first Blend Bunny palette I ever got. I haven't used it very much. Look how clean it looks. I use it a lot, but because this is my jam right here. This is all mattes. Yep, not a shimmer in the bunch. I love that there's no mirror. I love that. We don't need a mirror there. I mean, every once in a while it's nice to have a mirror, but I don't need a mirror in every palette. And Blend Bunnies is just one of those palettes, companies for me that I love how they put out their storylines. They usually have their stories, do you see how it's all kind of gradated, darker through to green and then yellow, and how all the tones reflect that kind of theme per column. It's just a great brand, and I feel like they just have a great approach to makeup. I've never understood why eyeshadow palettes are like grouped randomly, like, you know, green here and a blue, you know what I mean? I like it when it kind of makes sense, where I can see tones next to each other, and Blend Buddies is that for sure. And Shani and I are both, Shani does, I think she does a Throwback Thursday. She does a weekly review of palettes that she's used, whether they're new or not. And I have to say, this is one of the things I love about what's happening in YouTube and Instagram, like with the creators, is there's not this hell-bent for leather attitude to get the newest, the latest, the greatest. I have a real problem with all these new palettes coming out, and then all these old palettes that no one talks about anymore. It's like, so did you spend $60 to use it once? Like, is that what's going on? So this group that I've kind of started following on YouTube really like to bring out the classics, and so I'm very excited to use this. Blend Buddies is a great company. It's American. I'm going to put a link to their website down below. They have about 5 or 6 palettes out now. And I think I got gifted their blush palette, Juicy Cheeks, and their highlighter palette, Not Telescence, I think it's called. I'm going to use them later. But for right now, we're just dealing with the eyeshadow palette. But I will put a link to Blend Buddy's website so you can see all the things I'm talking about if you don't have them. Also, I will put a link down below to Smiley Shani's Insta and YouTube channel. Now, as I say, she is a trauma therapist, but she does all these little makeup. She puts makeup on, and she'll talk. One of them is she talks about weird news items that happen, like the cray-cray in the world. And it's not located to just her neighborhood or anything. It's like global. And I like that. It makes me feel less cray-cray myself when I see that it's a global situation and it's not just localized. I also love her for this face right here. Brace yourself. Every once in a while when you're watching Shani, like she'll say something about either some makeup or something that she's talking about, and then she makes kind of like some smiley judgy face that's not quite, like, you have to catch it. You have to catch it because it's by the time you kind of go, did she just give me a look? It's gone. And I love it. I love that. That's the kind of thing I roll with. So Shani invited me to do this collab with her. She's written the questions. Now, I'm going to say, I haven't really read them. She kind of gave me the 10 and I went, okay. And I haven't really done anything with them yet. So I haven't, this might even be an interesting surprise for me because I don't really remember what the questions were. So for this palette, I'm going to stick to this kind of area here. I'm going to do green mostly on the outside, blue closer to the to my nose, and I think I might do like a pinky orange happening lid. So to start, I'm just going to take a fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into Inside Joke, I think, first. This green right here, it's very light, but I am just going to start with that, work on my eye socket. Oh, I haven't put any primer on because I forget. I always get so excited to put makeup on, then I forget primer. Just 1 second. There we go, some rumors from P. Louise, the 00. Yeah, or it's just 0. I always thought it was 00. 0. All right. So now back into Inside Joke, and we are just going to start already. So pigmented. I don't know why I don't use this palette more often. I'm a terrible person. All right, so let's get to it. Here are the questions. There are 10, and these are all Shani's. I remember reading them and going, well, that's a weird question. And so I liked it because it wasn't something I would think of to do. But because of that, I feel the need to kind of just say, I'm not responsible. So the first question, would you rather be stuck in a romantic comedy with your worst enemy or in a horror movie with your best friend? Well, this is a weird question to start with because it's only recently that I started watching horror movies. I couldn't watch them. They would keep me up. I would have terrible dreams. And it's funny because as a kid, I loved watching the black and white horror movies like, you know, Frankenstein, Dracula, all of those, because I guess they were scary to a child, but there wasn't that out and out abject, you gonna die kind of horror. It was more like that Hitchcock, you know something's going on, but you're not going to see it right away type of thing. I love that. Now I've been watching horror, like the Conjuring series and things like that, and uh, that latest Exorcist. Like I don't like slasher films. It's probably why I've never seen a Halloween movie because it's too creepy and weird. But I would totally be in a horror movie with my best friend because my one of my best friends, one of the front runners anyway, is Wilhelmina Boxfarts, my drag daughter, aka Ted Morris, international stand-up comedian par excellence. Oh, I'm taking another fluffy brush right now, and I'm going into Bubble Bath, which is the blue right next to the inside joke. I'm using this one now, and we're just going to continue this green, blend it out into a blue here. Um, I would totally be in a horror movie with Ted because I think we would laugh through it. The other reason why I would pick my best friend to be in a horror is because my worst enemy, I don't have a lot of worst enemies. I really, really don't. But the two or three people that just chap my barnacles, it would turn the romantic comedy into a horror. I just know. Like, I'm not very good at being subtle around people I don't like. I'm not good at pretending. I often stare at people I don't like this. You know, I don't mean to. I just don't like them so much that it seeps out. And so for me, I think it would probably be safer for everyone involved if I just went into a horror with my best friend. I'm going to go into, what is this? Remedy. It is Remedy. Beautiful green with another fluffy brush. And I'm just going to start building out this area here. I think that blue is gorgeous that I put into I think this is a great drag palette because it's all mattes. The best. So question number 2. Would you rather have a knife when you need a spoon or a spoon when you need a knife? Well, what kind of spoon? There's the question. We're talking a ladle or just a spoon? Same with the knife. Are we talking like a butter knife or is it a machete? Which is it? I'm going to say a knife. I'd rather have a knife. I think you can do more with a knife than you can with a spoon, although eating would be hard without a spoon if it's liquid, but I think, you've got your hand. I mean, if I'm down to a spoon and a knife, I'm also probably down to, you know, which passenger who didn't survive the plane crash do I eat first? Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that in that case, it would probably be more advantageous to have a knife. But that's my 2 cents on that. See this line that I get here? I get this little curved line right here, and it's just the way my face. It's not a wrinkle. It's just where a muscle is on my face, and I'm sure if I had Botox, it would go away. But my makeup brush always catches there, and I get this weird little floop that doesn't really happen on the other side. I've now gone into Luke, is it? Yeah, the darker one, and I'm just using another fluffy, and I am just going to build out this area here. Question 3. Would you rather listen to an annoying laugh for a whole day or get tickled for 1 hour? I'd rather listen to an annoying laugh all day. I'm one of those people, I can ignore sounds. I have, I think working in wardrobe and with people that have nothing interesting to say in a job where everyone is just talking blindly at each other because they're just sewing. um, has taught me to ignore sounds. In fact, where I live right now, I have a stove that for some reason has beeped or buzzed my entire life. I can't get it to stop. Sometimes it'll start to beep, like beep, 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 and it's got a countdown starting, and it just starts. I don't know how it starts. I don't know who's doing that, but it's a very annoying sound when I notice it. And the only time I really notice it is when it changes. And I still have no idea why it changes the way it changes. Like some days it'll just be just like this slow buzz, and then it'll start to go beep, beep, beep. Or sometimes the pitch will change for some reason. And I don't know why, but as I say, I haven't been able to figure out how to stop it. And to tell you the truth, I should just unplug my stove because I really don't use it anymore since I got my air fryer. But I have an annoying laugh, and it's loud anyway. I don't know if it's annoying, but it's loud. I've had people make comments, and so I think I could ignore a laugh because I don't like being tickled, and it's not because I don't like being tickled. It's just it doesn't do anything for me tickling. Like I don't laugh when I'm being tickled. Like it doesn't make me laugh. I'm not ticklish. And then people who, when you say, "Oh, I'm not ticklish," then they come at you harder. They don't like, oh, it's like instead of going, and it hurts, and I don't like it. And when you're a big person like I am, I'm 6'4", people think, "Oh, I can hit you pretty hard because you're a big person. You'll get over it." It's like, no, it still hurts. Hurts is hurts. I'm just gonna tell you right now. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of ticklish. I'm taking a pencil brush now, and I'm going into 32, which is this turquoisey greeny blue color. I just want to get my crease kind of identified. So now, question 4. Would you rather be the cowboy riding the bull or the clown who distracts it? I don't know. The cowboy on the bull, it's a shorter job. You're kind of, the minute you're kicked off of it, you just have to get out of the way. But the clown and the rodeo clown, that's kind of an all day commitment. You're kind of there all day, no matter who's on the bull. So the lazy person in me would rather be the cowboy, but I think also I think that at least the clown has a little more control as to how the bull interacts with it. You know what I mean? Because like when you're strapped to I was going to say the hood of a cow. When you're strapped to the top of a bull, you're kind of everyone knows, even the bull knows what's happening next. And I've seen so many people who have I'm not a big fan of sports where people can get hurt like that, like really weird accidents, but they're always the ones that end up on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? So you see a lot of bucking bronco videos where somebody gets bucked off of a horse and then they do like a helicopter move in the air or something, they land and then the bull stands on them. So they haven't been gored or anything. They just landed in an awkward place at an awkward time. I'm just not a huge fan of that. That frightens me. But when you're the clown, you're kind of already on the ground and the bull's not right there. You just have to distract it. And if you're quick, I think you pick your moments. I think you're good to go. That's my opinion anyway. Question 5 already. Ooh. Would you rather be followed by band wherever you go or by someone narrating your life? First of all, Stranger Than Fiction is a Will Ferrell movie with Emma Thompson, and she's a writer who is writing a book, but we don't realize that she's a real person because we see Will Ferrell's character and all he hears is this British woman narrating everything he does. And it's so funny. And it's the first film I think that I enjoyed Will Ferrell. And not that I don't like Will Ferrell, I just remember at the time it was the first time I saw him in a movie where I felt he was acting and being somebody different and not just being weird for weird's sake. And I feel like there's a lot of people that came out of Saturday Night Live with that kind of, I'm just quirky and weird, and I didn't find them funny. Chris Farley was one of those people to me. I never found him funny. Nothing that he did. He was just loud and fat. And I don't know. I need more humor than just the visuals. Do you know what I mean? But that said, I think I would rather have a band. Is it a band playing? Yeah, like followed by a band. Like, okay, so either the band is just following me around. How are you boys? You good? Okay. Or they're following me around and playing. I'm assuming that they would be playing because why else would they be there? I would rather have the band. So, well, and it would depend on the music. It would depend. What I'm just dipping this pencil brush that I had the green on, and I'm going into Nevermore, which is the black shade, and I just want to start darkening out this outer edge. Like if it was thrash metal, I wouldn't want that band following me around. But if it were, I don't know, like a Diana Ross and the Supremes tribute band, or Earth, Wind, and Fire, I would love those. Those would be great. I would enjoy having those follow me around, and I also would enjoy having those follow me around because I think they would bother other people. But if I'm the only one who can hear them, then having a band would be like having a Walkman. And I'm okay with that. I'm just going to take the fluffy brush that I had the green on, which is still on there. I'm just going to blend this black out a bit more. But I did, in the movie Stranger Than Fiction, I really enjoyed the premise. Like, there were just a couple of moments where the narration was like, she'd say, this next bit was going to hurt or something. And he'd be like, come on! You know, it was just, that's not what she said or what happened, but it was like that. Like she would narrate something that he was like, what's happening? And it just made me laugh. I thought it was really good. Plus, I love a British voice for narration. I don't know why. There's just something calming and charming about a British voice. I don't think, at least for me it is anyway. I don't know. Maybe it's different for other people. Oh yeah, these are blending out so nice. Take, move it around. But yeah, I don't know if, I think that it would be annoying to hear everything you're doing being said out loud, and especially if you're the only one who can hear it. I think it would make more sense if it was like somebody constantly talking about what you're doing in relation to like being scored at the Olympics, you know? Like if it was like a golf course or a Olympic color commentator voice. It was like, and now they're getting ready for the double sow cow. I'm what? I'm doing what? You know, like that would be funny. But yeah, I think I would rather have a band playing as long as, again, the caveat for me is what band? Is it the same song all the time, or are they mixing it up? Like if I have to run for a bus, like I'm going to run for the bus. But if I have to run for the bus and they change it up, pick up the speed, I don't know. That would be funny. It would make me laugh. And if I had to listen to it, that would make me laugh. I'm just saying. All right, I'm going to cut my crease now with my P. Louise Rumors Zero. And I'm going to blend this all out a little bit, and I will be right back. David Burkett, one of my makeup enablers, sent me these. And these are P. Louise. They're the same. They're primer, but in different colors. And what they help you do is, like, if you're putting a yellow eyeshadow on, the yellow primer will help boost the yellow. It's not fighting a different background. So I have picked the orange and the yellow. And what I'm going to do is mix them kind of together. And let me find a brush to do this. Ah, there we go. Another P. Louise brush. So I have my Rumors here. The orange one, I don't know what it's called, if it's called anything. Cute in Coral. And then the yellow one is Yummy Yellow. But it's very chartreusey. It looks yellow on camera, but there's a definite green cast to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the orange first, just on its own. And I am going to do the outside, like this back area here. Because I want the orange back here. Now then, number 6. Would you rather get $1 every time you compliment a stranger or $100 every time you insult a stranger? I'll take the 100. I'll take the 100 because I have no problem insulting people I don't know. As a stand-up comic, that's more or less what I did for a living, was just judge the judgeable. And let me tell you, $100 in insult's a lot more than I was getting paid to be funny, I'll tell you what. But that said, I'm one of those crazy people. I'm constantly like talking to myself in my head saying, don't be that person. Like, don't be that crazy old man who talks to all the youngsters and says, oh, I love what you're wearing, or, oh, don't you look good. And then they're like, oh, thank you. And they walk away. Oh, old people. You know what I mean? I don't want to be one of those people, but I am. If I see somebody wearing something fabulous, I'll go, oh, that is gorgeous. Or if they have a cute dog, I'm that person. Who's got a cute puppy? It's very annoying to any of my friends. Ask any of them. But I don't think I would make as much money with I could just insult 2 or 3 people a day over having to talk to 300 people in the same day. It would also mean I'd have to be outside more. I'd have to interact with people more, and it's not for me. Yeah, I know I seem like somebody who's nice and everything, and I am, but I don't like people. If I had my choice, like I'm one of the few people that lockdown was fine for. I had no problem being in my own apartment by myself, talking on the Zoom. I had no problem with any of that. I'm built for that, I guess. Going in now with the Yummy Yellow. But I wanted to do actually once. I wanted to do a video where I did one eye with the colored primers and one eye without, and put the same eyeshadow on and see if there was much of a difference. And let me know if that would be something you'd want me to do. Okay, so now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fluffy brush and I'm going to go into a mix of this pink, which is called Chase, and this orange, which is called Barely. I'm just going to mix them both and see how they... Oh yeah, that's all right. Sometimes oranges can muddy out a pink, but that's not the case here. So Question 7 is would you rather have every meal you eat for the rest of your life be too spicy or too sweet? And I'm going to say spicy. I'm not a big sweet person. I do like sweets. Now that I have diabetes, I really don't eat anything, but I didn't eat a lot of sugary stuff to begin with. I'm a savory person. Like I would much rather have French fries than chocolate, or I would much rather have like hummus than ice cream. You know, I love ice cream. I'm not going to say no to ice cream, but I couldn't eat sweet all the time. And I never used to like spicy food. I just hated it. The heat. I like flavor. Flavor's different to me. Like, I think people hear the word spicy, they immediately think that that means that it's going to be hot. And I think that in North America, that is the case. Nutmeg. Nutmeg's a spice. Do you know what I mean? So I think when we talk spices, we're constantly saying uh, heat. And when I was younger, I couldn't take the heat. Like I found like people that like spicy wings or hot wings or something. Like my brother loves that stuff. Not only does he love it, but he makes his own hot sauce. He grows his own peppers. That's who my brother is. That said, I have gotten into hotter foods, and I couldn't have it hot, but I can have it spicy, if that makes any sense. I'm going into serendipity, I think is what it's called. It's the yellow in here, like the proper yellow. This one looks yellow on camera, but it's got a green hue, and this one is more like a yellow, like a primary yellow. I'm just going to take, it's a pencil brush, but it's got it's a long bristle, so it moves around a lot. And I'm just going to go into the white, which is called Ocean's Sugar. Oh, cream and sugar. Ocean's Sugar. Ooh, that sounds like a painful thing. I got a touch of the ocean sugar. I'm just going back in with black in this pencil brush just to start to deepen out this crease. And yeah, so I've developed an appreciation for spicy, but if it's just hot for heat's sake, I'm not impressed. That's not an impressive thing for me. I prefer to have complexity of flavors and not just like, it's this hot. It's on the scale of 1 to death or the surface of the sun. It's this hot, you know, the Kelvin scale, that kind of thing. I'm not interested in. All right, I'm taking the brush that had the black on it, and I'm going into this darker purple color called Vamp. It's just a duller purple. I'm just going to shade out some of this pink with it. Yeah, I like to try and blend out the crease on the edge. I like it to be sharper on the inside than the outside. I like to kind of blend all out. Now then, question number 8. Would I rather wrestle a gorilla or 2 alligators? Well, I'm going to go with the gorilla every time because a big hairy beast never scares me. But 2 alligators and in the water, and I'm assuming it would be in the water. Then why else would it be an alligator? I don't know. There just seems to be a lot of unnecessary elements going on with the whole two alligators thing. I also think that the chances of a gorilla just killing you are better than an alligator eating you slow. Do you know what I'm saying? I would much rather um, die quickly, especially if I'm being attacked by something that will eat me. I don't want the eating process to be something I'm too aware of as it happens, if that makes sense. It's an eye, I'll tell you what. All right, now as I did with the Creatura palette, I'm going to do a bit of blush from this palette here. And then I'm going to finish off my face. And so I'm going to take a little bit of Chase, just touch the brush right in there once. And then I'm going over here to Sunsets, which is a soft pink. And I'm just going to back and forth, just a couple. Ooh. Ooh, yeah, that's a nice color. So this dusty. This is a dusty palette, but it's not. There's no fallout on my face, which I really appreciate. And I like to do a little um, deeper. So I'm going to go over here into Vexed, which is like a russet with that pink, and just bring it down into the contour of the cheek. Just to get that shape in there. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do right now is I'm going to finish my eyeliner, throw on some lashes, some hair, change my top, and then we have two more questions? Yeah, I have two more questions to answer, and we'll be done with the collab. So just stay tuned. And there we go. I am fully powdered and coiffed and all of it. What did I use to finish my look? Well, to keep it in the Blend Bunny family, I did grab my Noctilescent highlighter palette for, I like to use the pinky one for the cheeks and then this one here for everything else. The others are great. I like to go with neutral blends. I also used the Blend Bunny palette, particularly that purple and this russety color, for my lip line. I also used, as we discussed earlier, that pink and a bit of that purple for my blush, which I think looks really good. I also, before we started filming, because I like to have them done before I start filming, I did my eyebrows with these colors here, these three right here. With a touch of that very dark brown. That's a brown there. I don't know if it shows up on camera as brown, but yeah. So these were my eyebrows today, all from Blends, and I love it. So there's two more questions left. The first of the last two questions, question number 9 is, would you rather have to always say everything that pops into your head or never be able to say what you feel? I already say everything that pops into my head. I am okay rolling like that. I have said, I think my whole life, whatever came into my head, and it has never served me well, and I have never learned. So that's how I roll. Do I regret when I say things? No. I absolutely much rather say things and be relieved that it's out there than have that whole doubt thing where it's like, oh, I should have said something. I should have said, oh, I don't do well with that kind of self-doubt. It makes me a little tense. So I'm not a fan of that. The last question, would you rather only speak in riddles or only speak in rhyme? I don't think I'm clever enough to do either. I just want to say right away, I think it would be easier to speak in rhyme than to riddle all the time, because you have to have an end game for a riddle, whereas with a rhyme, you just go with whatever the last word was and hope for the best. I mean, there's nothing there that says that my rhyme has to be coherent, but I think there's an inset expectance of coherence with a riddle. It's a riddle for a reason. And there you go. Those are the 10 questions that Miss Shani B, Smiley Shani, threw at me. Seriously, if you're having a bad day, go watch a Smiley Shani video. She is so charming, so funny, so unworried about what you think. I love that she'll say whatever is on her mind, much like I do. I guess that's why I gravitated towards her when I started watching her videos. She's also on Instagram. I'm going to put links to both her YouTube channel and her Instagram down below, as well as a link to Blend Bunny's website, where blends is still available. I love the highlighter palette. I also have the Juicy Cheeks blush palette. I like Blend Bunny. They're a good company. I think that they are North America's answer to Beauty Bay as far as palettes and formula and reliability. They're just a little more expensive than Beauty Bay, but it's neither here nor there. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And while you're down there, if you want to, leave a comment. Let me know, do you have any Blend Bunny palettes? Have you ever wanted to get a Blend Bunny palette? If you would like to support the Fingerdoo review a little more, there is a thanks button, the YouTube Tipperdoo button I call it, but it's the thanks button just below this window. There's also a link in my description box for my OG PayPal Tipperdoo account, as well as a link to my Redbubble store where you can get all the Wilma merch you can handle, and a link to Patreon where the Fingerdoo family meets twice a month for live chats, among other things. There you go. I hope that you stay healthy. I hope that you stay happy. And until next week, miss me. Mwah. Seriously.